Hello and welcome to this special edition coming your way from Nile TV International regarding the latest developments in the Middle East and the ongoing talks between the American and the Iranian officials in Pakistan, or mediated by Pakistan in Islamabad, to be finding more ways to be ending the conflict that took place for the past 40 days in the region. And to be shedding more light on this important topic, I'm honored to be having with me over the phone Dr. Mohamad Salah, the political affairs researcher and the expert in international relations. Dr. Mohamad, thank you very much for being with us tonight on Nile TV International.
Thanks a lot, Mr. about your hospitality, and I'm very happy to be with you today. And I wish you and all of your followers a nice discussion, God willing.
Yes, thank you very much. First of all, how do you see the means of advancing the ceasefire negotiations between the American and the Iranian officials during the talks taking place in Islamabad in Pakistan?
I would like to say this negotiation or these talks have a very important effect on the current conflict that's happening for 6 weeks in general between America and Iran. And I would like to say that this important or this regional conflict has a bad effect or a bad influence against or among the global economy in general, and especially about the American economy, especially in the American economy. And they are trying to find a solution in order to end all of these problems, not only the war itself, but about the consequences or the effects or the influences of this war upon the global economy and upon the gas prices, upon the industrial activities around the world. So they have a strong desire to end up this war in order to reach or to regain the best accounts or the best situation about the global economy in general. What characterizes this talks on its first day is we have I think we have a friendly affairs or a friendly environment regarding these talks. Although it's negotiating a very important and crucial issues and subjects, but both delegations at the same time are talking with each other in a friendly way, are exchanging ideas, are talking friendly, and this will give us a good hint about the future of these negotiations and give us hope to end up or to reach a compromise regarding all these conflicts between Iran and America.
Yes, Dr. Mohamad Salah, you mentioned that the talks, the negotiations, they are taking place within a friendly atmosphere being mediated by Pakistan in Islamabad. But what about the main disagreements, the deep disagreements between the United States, Israel and Iran that are hurdling those talks?
Well, look, let us differentiate between the problems or the differences between America and Iran and Israel and Iran.
Yes.
Israel have a different agenda about the Iranian regime, about they have to end up the Iranian regime. They have to end up the state of Iran, or to make Iran a failure state as they want. They want to give it or to make it a failure state. On the other hand, America has a different agenda regarding Iran, which depends on controlling Strait of Hormuz, controlling the oil resources, controlling the regime or the political trends or political attitude of the Iranian regime. So we have a different goals between, or different objectives between America and Israel regarding Iranian regime. What is targeting or about the different disadvantages or about the difficulties on this talks today? We have two main points or two main topics. The first is about the nuclear weapons, Iranian nuclear weapons, the program, and the second is the Strait of Hormuz. They are the most important subject, or the most critical subjects. And they are talking or exchanging ideas about the end of find a solution for these disagreements. We have to note also that both delegations have a huge number of experts in all fields. if you would like to say furthermore, you will find that the American delegation is consisting of 200 experts from all type of experts, and the Iranian delegation contains of 300 of experts. So they have different issues or different fields in order to negotiate about technical resources or technical affairs, about the nuclear regime, about the economic situations, about how to control or how to manage Hormuz, Strait of Hormuz, and these both sides for America are the main topics that have many differentiations between America and Iran.
Dr. Mohammed, you've mentioned that Israel had certain targets during that war. The US had other targets within that war from Iran. Israel wanted a failed state in the Islamic Republic, and the United States wanted to be controlling the assets of Iran, to be failing the nuclear project of Iran, and to be controlling the regime or changing the regime. For the past 6 weeks, for the 38 or 40 days as we have witnessed the war raging in the Middle East, do you think that Israel and the United States have had their targets achieved within this time frame?
If they got their targets achieved, they won't go to negotiations anymore. It will end up this struggle at the moment. The meaning of going into negotiation is that both sides can't achieve his goals throughout military actions. And we have to understand well that the strategic position of the United States is not strong enough in front of the strategic position of Iran. We have to know well that neither Iran nor America and Israel have achieved all of their objectives about this war. And we have to know well that the war is a negotiation is a war in another way, or making military actions by in another ways on the table. We have to exchange our ideas. We have to exchange our visions regarding these problems, in order to find a suitable solutions. As we have exercised lots of military actions, but we haven't reached any outputs for all of them. No one of them have achieved his goal. No one of them have achieved his objectives, and this is the main problem, and this is the main reason also for the negotiation taking part now in Islamabad.
Yes, as you just said, this is a different path for the war, another phase, another level, a diplomatic war, as we have seen the war that took place in the region for the past 40 days. In your opinion, who won the first phase, and who will be winning at the end of this diplomatic phase of the war?
I can't hear you. I can't hear you well. Could you repeat your question, please?
Yes, Dr. Mohammed, you stated that the negotiations ongoing now in Pakistan, it is just another phase, a different path for the war, the diplomatic war going on between the United States, Israel and Iran. In your opinion, who won the first phase of the war, and who will be winning at the end of the negotiations, the diplomatic path of it?
What I wanted to say is that both of them, I think all of them, not mainly Iran, not mainly America, but all of them have the wishes in order to reach a ceasefire from these negotiations. The only part who is looking forward to make this talks failure is Israel, because Israel is having or adopting a very important program or subject, which is Great Israel theory. And the main objective of Israel is making all the nations or all the countries in the Middle East weak, don't have any reason of power, don't have any type of power, in order to dominate the Middle East in general, or in order to expand in the Middle East. They wanted to expand it economically, politically, geographically. They have a lot of plans in order to fulfill them. You have to end up the strong countries in the Middle East, not only for Iran, but also for Turkey, but also for Pakistan, for Egypt. They look for the fall of all nations in the Middle East in order to achieve their goals, which is great Israel fail.
During the past 40 days, or during the war in general, we have seen the U.S. President Donald Trump losing a number of his allies, including the NATO, for example, which he called a paper tiger, something that, or an alliance that did not help the United States. The European Union countries as well, they did not help the United States in the war. Do you think that the U.S. President has come out of this war losing a lot of allies that he have had in the past?
This is one of the biggest mistakes that has been taken by President Trump from the early beginning of his second regime in the White House, which was going into battles and going into a conflict. It was not a needed conflict, or not a basic conflict with his allies in NATO, with his allies in Western civilization, with his friends in Europe, and they have made a lot of threats against them. And you know well what's happening, or what has happened to the talks between America and the European Union regarding Greenland, and how he has declared that he has the purpose to occupy Greenland, or to attain them, or to get to buy Greenland from the European Union. Yes. And also he have threatened them a lot regarding the financial affairs of NATO, and how each European country must pay more for this alliance, to keep the alliance alive. And he also said that European countries are very weak. They are full of immigrants. They do not have a democratic political system. I think he has offended a lot about the European Union, and he is looking, and this makes Europe looking from a different viewpoint, and to look for another solution in order to make security and stability for the European nations. And they are looking now, they are exercising a lot of ideas, such as making a new army for the European nations only. They are exercising ideas such as quitting the NATO alliance. They are looking at exercising lots of ideas regarding economic organizations, or establishing a new economic organization that gives them the ability to live alone without depending on the American market or about the American economy in general. I think President Trump hasn't a reason to do all of this with his alliance. And this is and he is only now standing alone on his war in Iran, due to all of these problems, or due to all of these actions taken against the European Union. And he can't find any friend or any support from any nation in the world. And this is one of the main problems, or the main pressures that are taken or practiced against the American administration now in Iran, is that they are standing alone. You do not have any support, or you do not have any follower, you do not have any ally except Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel. This is the only ally now for the United States in this war.
Yes, and finally, Dr. Mohamad, Salah, as the statements of the U.S. President Donald Trump are signaling that the United States forces are clearing out the Strait of Hormuz in terms of the bombs that were planted by Iran in the past 40 days, or since the beginning of the war. Is this, in your opinion, a signal that there will be a final decision regarding the de-escalation of the fighting, regarding the end of fighting in general, the ceasefire that we are having for the upcoming week or so, or maybe more, could be elongated into a more permanent ceasefire between all three forces in the region?
What happened today regarding military actions, or military affairs taken by CENTCOM of the United States in Strait of Hormuz is not logic, and it's not acceptable. You have, if you wanted to go into negotiations and into talks, you have to wait until you end the end of these talks and to take your decision. But let me say that I can't say that America has succeeded on its mission on opening the Strait of Hormuz. I can say that this is a kind of media war, or this is not a military war, because you have a double presses or double news from the Iranian side. They say no, and the American confirmed yes. So you don't know where is the truth of Strait of Hormuz now. And I think it's a way of putting more pressure on Iran in order to accept the American offer and the negotiation regarding Strait of Hormuz. I think it's not a truth. I think it's not confirmed, and I think we do not have any ship that have been past Strait of Hormuz last 24 hours, except two Chinese ships, and they went through the Strait of Hormuz in combination with the Iranian side, not with the American side.
Yes, Dr. Mohamad Salah, the political affairs researcher, thank you very much for being with us tonight on Nile TV International and this special edition. And this brings us to the end